Hey guys, I'm back with another Booster X update. Let's get started. So the main thing that caught my attention honestly today was SV base. There were a couple other little things that I'd like to point out. Price increases and decreases weren't super amazing, but some of them were more significant. Like Evolving Skies going to 1325. But so let's just go over some of these. So Scarlet base, the price only went up about $1 since I last tracked it. It's been this range before around 190, 192. Um, I just I think I could be remembering it wrong, but I think I remember just seeing more boxes around the 191 range, and I was seeing some sort of like momentum going downward because there wasn't really a lot of boxes selling every day at 3. And I see that I don't know if like people like bought the boxes or if they moved listings around, but it seems like there's fewer less listings until like 199. So I see there's two of them around this 192, 191, 192 mark, and then there's two listings over here at 195, and there's one over here. Let's see what that is. This is already 198, so you get to 198 pretty quickly, which is a pretty big difference to what Scarlet bases have been looking like recently. And I wonder if this is partly because Paradox Rift has gone to 200, and because of that, um, it's sort of a desperation tactic. Like the way the market works is that there are different plays available, and technically, yeah, some plays are better than others, but ultimately, some plays are plays because other you just need enough people to think the same way as you in a sense. Um, if enough people are like, oh, I want like the reason to go for SV base is that people don't expect it to be reprinted, and they saw it happen to a Sword and Shield base. You see, Sword and Shield base is actually one of the most expensive booster boxes of Sword and Shield, and it's one of the worst booster boxes. The only booster boxes more expensive than Sword and Shield base are Evolving Skies and Fusion Strike by like a little bit, and Not Even Lost Origin is more expensive. It's the third most expensive booster box. So people have known that for a while, and then there's that. And then the other thing that's more relevant to today's market is that all booster boxes of Scarlet Fire are gonna cost 200, and like people just started kind of going through the list of like, hey, which boxes do I want to um, pick off first as like kind of more discount boxes because some people go after more discount boxes, and technically Stellar Crown has dropped back down to 198 recently, but let's just assume for right now that it's like 200 bucks. Crossing 200 is a pretty important milestone. So for a while it was SV base, Paradox, and Temporal, and Paradox is finally past 200. So now there's Temporal and SV base, and it looks like people might be start targeting SV base at this point. And there's like other factors involved, like hey, it's been so long. Enough supply has probably moved around to make things more shift worthy. So that's why like you look at the market conditions like over time. But yeah, like this looks pretty good for SV base, honestly. More boxes sold yesterday at 5, which also helps. But it seems like a lot of the cheaper boxes have been cleaned out, and we might finally start seeing price rises soon, closer to like 198 to 200. When it first reached about, because it's been about 198 before, but that was a less stable one. This seems more stable, to be honest. Um, Paldea dropped to 222, but I think it's just one or two sellers. There's one seller and it goes to 225. The bigger concern for Paldea, it has been the small amount of demand. Just I guess like I'm counting today as well. So today, if more boxes are bought, it's fine. It's midday, so it's very likely. There was just a blip of demand at 2 yesterday, which is quite low. Even its normal rate of 8 or 9, it's not terrible. It's okay. Every now and then Paldea will have a day where it doesn't have a lot of demand. You'll see it like every actually it's pretty predictable, like every 3 or 4 days. Like this was 3 and it's 2 days. 3 days later it's 3. 4 days later it's 2, and 4 days later it's 2. So hopefully it's just this sort of recurring pattern of people lose attention of it. Otherwise like Paldea should be at like 230, and yeah, like it's at 230 for quite a while until kind of around this point over here on the 11th, and it dropped to 225, and now there's only so many boxes at 225, and then go back to 230, and it's kind of stuck at 230. But yeah, it should be kind of more a 230 box. But the issue with Paldea is mostly that I know people want to open it because I talk to people and like I mentioned about a bunch of booster boxes and like which ones do they want. Usually, what they want to open like Surging Sparks, Twilight Masquerade, Paldea Evolved, and Obsidian Flame. So those are the ones I hear the most commonly. And yeah, I do hear Paldea a lot. They see Paldea like, oh, I want to open that. Like literally like actual collectors wanting to rip. Um, but yeah, the reason why Paldea is in a weird state right now is partly because of the whole market scared thing, but also um, it was just kind of stuck at 230 for a while, and when stuck at a certain price point, people get fatigued, and eventually sellers start offloading their boxes. So that's kind of where we are now. But yeah, like I don't know if we solved the initial fatigue thing. Even if like we get rid of these 225 boxes, we solve a bunch of 230 boxes. And so we have to just kind of wait until enough boxes are sold off and the market conditions change a little bit. But it's not looking like as quick of a fix compared to some other booster boxes. Alright, Obsidian Flames it's about the same at 211. Demand is about 5 over here. It's been 5 very consistently. It's a little less than a little more than half of what Paldea usually gets. Yeah, Obsidian Flames resistance points has been 215, and there's been a ton of boxes at 215, and it's a similar argument as like Paldea's thing. Like there's a couple of boxes below the 215 mark, and those are starting to sell out a little bit, but you saw this issue of this 215 and the fatigue and everything. So yeah, we're just kind of waiting it out as people buy boxes right now. But these are both sets that people do like to open. Paradox is now that's crossed the 200 mark, and it's been at like 205. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets stuck a little bit. I do see like 208 here, 210 here, and it's not like a ton of boxes. It's like 8 boxes until then. Its demand rate has been like 6 and 8. So it could possibly go up to 2, like 208 or whatever, 210. I wouldn't be surprised if it like matches kind of what Stellar did, where Stellar went all the way to 214, and then now it's like kind of dropped back down a little bit. But I don't really see like Paradox suddenly becoming like a $230 booster box all of a sudden. So, but now that's crossed 200, like you can safely say it's like a $200 booster box. Temporal, I'm just gonna see how long it takes for it to cross. It's still like, I can't even see the past 200 price on this list, but is this fewer boxes than before? 3, 4, 5, 8, 12, 15. I think that's a little less. Yeah, Temporal hasn't had as many sales, like 2 sales over yesterday. So it's just gonna take a little longer for it to cross 200. There's just more resistance. Twilight, it's still, I think it recovered. I think there was like a cheap box the other day, and it was at 215, but now it's back at 219. Yeah, Twilight does seem to look a little more robust at its price point. It can go 220 pretty quickly. There is, this guy. I guess this is still technically 220, but yeah, there's only this like these 2 boxes at 219, and it goes to 220. So, and demand for Twilight hasn't really gone down to like really low quantities. Like its lowest is like 4 or 5, but it does go to like 10 to 12 a lot of days. Stellar is still down below 200, and yeah, the price itself didn't change that much. And let's see, how many boxes? So there's this one over here, and then it's basically 199.99 again, and then so there's basically 2 boxes, and I'm gonna see what people have been paying for it. These don't always include shipping, but yeah, I do see people paying less for it. So if there's only 2 boxes left, there's a chance that these boxes get bought up. There's also a chance, like I mentioned before, that this is just sort of an outlier sort of thing. Like it's not really a below $200 box. It's just that no one's gonna buy from the seller. They'd rather just pay a little extra and buy from a more reputable looking seller. I'm gonna say reputable looking because I don't do the research on these sellers, but just looking at more sales as a star or whatever. So usually people consider that to be more reputable. But otherwise, yeah, I don't really fully consider a seller a below $200 booster box if there's only like this sort of stuff happening. But if I see a lot more listings, then sure. And then Surging Sparks is below 250 again. It's still its normal range, and like normal, when demand goes down and prices go down, then the demand goes back up. So 24 boxes sold. It does seem to always recover. Okay, so for Sword and Shield era, I think that the two boxes people are being most interested in are Brilliant Stars and Astral Radiance right now. Based on demand data, they have picked up in demand, and it's kind of compared to everyone else in the every other box in the era. So yeah, you see, Brilliant Stars has had a little more demand, 3, 4, and 3, and you can't compare these Scarlet Violet numbers like that. That's pretty good demand for a Sword and Shield booster box, and honestly, like it does kind of make sense to me. Like it's a mid tier set, and it's not like the most expensive set, and so it has sort of more room to grow. Like people are kind of in cost saving mode right now, and it's just like everyone knows that these are gonna go up because how do I say this? Like when you're doing a box like Evolving Skies, Lost Origin, Fusion Strike, it's more like everyone's like they see that really expensive and you're not really sure when it'll go up. But like with these boxes, I don't know how to explain. It's just like they fundamentally are good boxes, and like I think Rudy said this well. He said all Sword and Shield boxes should be at least $500 a box, and and the really good ones are gonna be more than that. And so like these are just sort of safe longer term bets. Like you know that people are gonna want these longer term, and in like a couple of years from now, like these prices are definitely gonna be up. Um, like lost and the prices have been so stable that you don't really feel like they'll change very much. Versus like Lost Origin and Fusion Strike, I think that people are kind of wondering if they're probably on sale. Like, are they going to drop even more? Versus like even though they've been fluctuating, Breeding Stars and Astral Radiance have been like more stable. Silver Tempest has also been pretty stable price wise. Um, but yeah, like Chilling Reign and Evolving Skies have had like 20 to like $50 like price changes. So it's just like that sort of difference as well. Like you want to buy when like it's kind of some people want to buy when it's like the right time. But you see like Astral Radiance has been picking up two a little bit. Two sold today 1 and then 4. So just a little bit more activity. But honestly, I think Brilliant Stars is like the stronger one, which shows burn the demand data because like it's a Charizard set. There actually is a chase. There's no chase really in Astral Radiance. It's not quite an Altar chase, but it's still kind of a chase. Um, but yeah, everything else, yeah, Evolving Skies it was kind of stable at 1360, but there's been no one buying at that price lately. So unfortunately, it hasn't been able to sustain it. And there's two boxes at the 1325 mark, and it goes back to 1360. People start buying, they'll change, but they haven't. So unfortunately, yeah. And Chilling Reigns gotten some demand the last 2 days. So today was 1, and then yesterday was 1, but it's still back to its like kind of stagnant 333 price. Breeding Stars, yeah, it did go up about about $2. Silver Tempest has been down about $1. Rebel Clash, it did this thing. Someone just raised the price randomly, even though there were no sales, to 345. They've kind of brought it back down. It didn't really do anything. I think this is definitely like a market manipulation thing. Like they're like, oh, no one fell for it, no one fell for it, no one fell for it. Let's bring it back. And then Sword and Shield base, they just dropped the price back down to 450 because I don't think there were any sales. People are just they just want to sell it. So I think this is a new seller over here. Rebel Clash. I'm just say Dark Displays had 2 boxes yesterday. Bit voltage, nothing really. Battle Styles is about the same. Chilling Reign already talked about. Evolving. Yeah, Lost Origin, I guess the only other Lost Origin and Silver Tempest, like it's just still below this 380 mark, and I think it's kind of stuck there a little bit. Demand hasn't been amazing or anything, and then Silver Tempest. I want Silver Tempest to do well, but it just keeps having inconsistent demand, so it's kind of been still stuck around this 270 mark. Alright, that's it for today's video. Thanks guys, bye.